Good evening. I'm Michael Black, principal of Miamisburg High School, and I would like to welcome everyone to tonight's National Honor Society induction ceremony. I want to thank all of our National Honor Society students for helping us to get set up out here today. This is not what it normally looks like on a normal day, so we really appreciate their help. And also a special thanks to Mrs. Cotty and Ms. Borges for organizing and planning this ceremony. The creation of the National Honor Society was an idea proposed 102 years ago in 1919 by a school principal named Edward Reinerson. He and his colleagues were concerned about the growing emphasis on non-academics in our schools, especially athletics. Out of this concern grew this idea of the National Honor Society. He believed the overemphasis of the non-academics was detrimental to their academic program, which was intended to stimulate leadership and character. So out of that, the first charter membership of the National Honor Society was awarded to Mr. Reinerson's school, the Fifth Avenue High School in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania in 1921. Our chapter quickly followed in 1923, and at that time inducted our first 6 members. It is interesting to note that the book the students will be signing tonight is the same book that has been signed by Miamisburg High School National Honor Society inductees since 1923. Tonight, we will induct 30 outstanding students who still exemplify those high standards set forth back in 1919. I congratulate all of them, and I would like to thank you, the parents, relatives, teachers, and friends who are here tonight for attending and sharing this memorable moment. In addition to honoring our students this evening, we would like to pay tribute to another special group of people. When the students applied for selection, they were asked to name an educator from the Miamisburg School District who has made a difference in your life. The educators' names are listed in the program and are here as our guests and will participate in the induction ceremony. The main candle represents the light of knowledge. Therefore, the act of the teacher passing on the lighted candle to the student is symbolic of passing on the light of knowledge from the teacher to the student. President Luke Gillespie will now begin the actual ceremony.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Miamisburg High School National Honor Society induction ceremony. We also want to give a warm welcome to our Assistant Superintendent Steve Homan and Board of Education member Ann Neese. This evening, we are receiving 30 members into the local chapter of the National Honor Society. Admission to this organization is perhaps the greatest honor that could come to a high school student. It stands for excellence of achievement, not only in one field, but in every field of endeavor. Scholarship alone will not admit a student to the National Honor Society. To scholarship must be added service, leadership, and character. A student may, therefore, make the highest grades and still not be admitted to the National Honor Society if the student does nothing for the school or community, or if the student shows traits of character that are undesirable. The students who have attained this high standard and who have been chosen by the Faculty Council deserve the highest praise and congratulations for their excellent record. Vice President Aaron Gillespie will now explain the meaning of scholarship.
Our emblem is a keystone and a flaming torch. The keystone bears at its base the letters S, L, S, and C, which stand for the 4 cardinal principles of NHS: scholarship, leadership, service, and character. As the keystone is placed by the builder to hold a perfect arch and perpetual stability, so the structure of our education must be held firm and true to the purpose of life by the virtues represented in this symbol. What words are more significant than scholarship, leadership, service, and character? The flaming torch is the emblem of our purpose. Four of our officers will now give an interpretation of the Cardinal Principles of the National Honor Society. Secretary Hannah Eversole will now explain the meaning of scholarship.
A high standard of scholarship is the first principle of our society. Scholarship is a goal toward which each person should strive. Knowledge is a great element which leads to the highest success in one's life. Scholarship is a love of learning. A good student will spend as much time as possible in reading and studying, for this student knows the reward of a well-educated mind. Excellence in scholarship reveals not only that one's store of knowledge has been increased, but also that the individual has endeavored to make the most of the opportunities at hand. Knowledge is both necessary and useful. It can be acquired in only one way, and that is through diligence and effort. We should continue to study even when school days are over, for we must remember that education ends only with life. I will now light the candle of scholarship, and Treasurer Jocelyn Bailey will then interpret the meaning of our second principle, leadership.
Leadership is the art of directing others in conduct and achievement. It challenges the virtues of a person's soul. It will show the students goodness, mercy, as well as selflessness and ingenuity. They who have strength of character develop a strong personality, which is the moving force of leadership, embodying beauty, truth, and goodness. These are the qualities of which leaders are made. Leadership should exert a wholesome influence on the school. In taking the initiative in school and community activities, the real leader should strive to train and aid others to attain the same objective. The price of leadership is sacrifice, the willingness to yield one's personal interests for the interest of others. A leader has the confidence in himself and dares to go forward when others hesitate. No matter what power and resources may exist in a country, they are ineffective without the guidance of a wise leader. In order to mold citizens concerned with the advancement of humanity and to create leaders who will strive to maintain the American way of living, the Honor Society recognizes leadership among its members. For what is the worth of a person who will not advance their ideals? A person may be brilliant, noble, and charitable, and thereby may be a good person. But if, in addition, they are a leader, they are an important person. I will now light the candle of leadership, and then Point Secretary Critic-Tella will explain the third principle of which our society is based on service.
Service is one of the greatest words in the English language, for it signifies the outward sign of inward sincerity and sympathy. It means more than word. It is a laboring, the striving, even the sacrifice of ourselves for the benefit of others. There is no pleasure in life quite like the feeling of deep satisfaction of having been of service to others. One who serves gives much of himself and gives it willingly, to aid those in need, to help ease the pain of the world, to be a friend of the unfriendless, are the aims of the unselfish. Selfishness always paralyzes enjoyment. The cure for selfishness is service to others. Today, perhaps more than ever before, the world needs individuals who can rise above the tides of the times and serve mankind unselfishly. Service does not flaunt itself in glowing colors. Its true beauty lies in the simple giving of oneself, one's time, and ability wherever there is a need. Service is a willingness to work without glory and is a cheerful and enthusiastic rendering of any possible help to the community at large. May we all practice this giving of ourselves to the needs of others and so find true happiness in service. I will now light the candle of service, and Point Secretary Christy Shin will then explain the meaning of the fourth principle of NHS, character.
Character is the force in one person that distinguishes him from others. Character gives him individuality and personality. It is based upon moral principles and upon a proper sense of values. It leads to confidence, self-reliance, personal honesty, and courage in all contacts and dealings with other people. Character is that without which no person can respect himself nor hope to attain respect of others. It's like an invisible magnet which guides people through life's temptation, and once developed, it grows steadily to become an unfailing guide. Character is achieved, not received, and is a product of constant action and daily striving to make the right choices. The problem of character is the problem of self-control. We must be in reality what we wish to appear to others by demonstrating such qualities as reliability, honesty, and sincerity, and then we can hope to prove to the world that we are growing in character. I will now light the candle of character. May it lead you toward maintaining good character. We will now read the list of students who are to be inducted into the National Honor Society. We will also name a special teacher mentioned by each student when asked to name an educator who has made a difference in their life. After all names have been read, President Luke Gillespie will lead the new members in the pledge.
Our first inductee is Jasmine Finney. Jasmine is an active member of student government as well as Interact Club. She also enjoys tutoring students at Netherview Elementary School. Jasmine chose Miss Kathleen Magea as her special educator. Miss Magea was Jasmine's most supportive teacher and made math her favorite class, and said that Miss Magea was always there to help her and her peers to excel. Our next inductee is Drew Anderson. Drew is the vice president of JSA as well as a member of the Needle Art Club. In his free time, Drew likes to volunteer at the Dayton Women's Center. Drew selected Mrs. Beth Clue as his special educator as she helped Drew find a love for chemistry and has supported every avenue in his academic career. Our next inductee is Ella Ansbaugh. Ella is unfortunately unable to be with us tonight as she is competing with the varsity soccer team. Ella has been a varsity soccer player for the past 3 years. She was also a student council board member for 1 year and senator for 2 years. Ella finds pleasure in volunteering at Jan Chance Elementary School. As her special educator, Ella picked Mr. Chris Bennett, her old Spanish teacher. Ella explains how Mr. Bennett not only taught her the language, but also the culture. She was always excited to go to his class due to his positive atmosphere, emphasizing creativity and hard work. Our next inductee is Janna Azam. Janna is a member of JSA and is a College Advantage recipient. She also enjoys volunteering at a hospital and elementary school. Janna chose Mrs. Catherine Pennington as her special educator. Janna states that Mrs. Pennington is the most encouraging and supporting teacher she has ever had, and helps her take the extra step for improvement. Our next inductee is Megan Daniels. Megan has been playing lacrosse for Miamisburg for the past 3 years, in addition to running cross country. She also volunteers at the Humane Society of Greater Dayton. Megan selected Mrs. Kristen Krumhauer as her special educator. Mrs. Krumhauer helped Megan fall in love with French in 8th grade and was the most supportive and kind teacher she's ever had. She says that Mrs. Krumhauer always made her feel special and safe.
Our next inductee is Greg Denny. Greg is a two-sport athlete playing lacrosse for 11 years and running cross country for 3. In his free time, Greg actively volunteers for Children's Performing Arts of Miamisburg. Greg has chosen Mrs. Ginger Colianos as a special educator. Mrs. Colianos has helped Greg get through his fear of failure, teaching him that failure is part of life. Greg is grateful for all the help Mrs. Colianos has offered him. Our next inductee is Sophia Dunn. Sophia has been on the lacrosse team for 3 years as well as the cross-country team for a year. She volunteers at a hospital in Ecuador. Sophia selected Miss Lori Curry as her special educator. She admires Miss Curry because of her shared passion for literature and how she encourages everyone, including herself, to perform their best. Sophia says how Miss Curry supported her to pursue her academic career. Our next inductee is Aiden Dyer. Aiden is a junior two-sport athlete who plays football and lacrosse. He's the captain of the lacrosse team and he volunteers at Jane Chance Elementary. He selected Mrs. Carrie Clark as his special educator. Aiden chose Mrs. Clark because not only was she his kindergarten and first grade teacher, but she is also a family friend and neighbor. Our next inductee is Madison Heffelfinger. Madison has been on the varsity golf team for 2 years, as well as the varsity swim team for 3 years. She has been an officer of MHS's student government for 2 years. Her special educator is Mr. Chris Fisher. She chose Mr. Fisher because she enjoys having him as a teacher and golf coach. Madison says that Mr. Fisher is always available to depend on and has helped her realize her love for playing golf. Our next inductee is Megan Homan. Megan is a member of Interact Club and is a drum major for the Miamisburg Marching Band. She has been also playing basketball for 2 years at the high school. Megan selected Miss Michelle Dakin as her special educator, stating that she makes learning fun and always cares about her students. Miss Dakin inspired Megan to become a teacher in the future.
Our next inductee is Maya Harani. Maya is on the tennis team. She has been a student council member since 3rd grade and is a JSA member. Ms. Catherine Lay is her special educator. Maya chose Mrs. Lay because she has welcomed Maya to the tennis team with open arms of support. Maya says that Mrs. Lay is one of the most attentive and caring people she knows. Our next inductee is Braylon Masters. Unfortunately, Braylon cannot be here tonight, but we still will be recognizing his achievements. He is a two-sport athlete in baseball and a captain for the basketball team. During his free time, he actively volunteers for his elementary school. Braylon chose Miss Sarah Downey as the special educator. Mrs. Downey has always been an advocate for Braylon, as she fought to get him into honors classes. Braylon is appreciative of all the time she set aside in order to help him. Our next inductee is Gage Murphy. Gage is a member of the Exercise Science Tech Prep program here at the high school. He is a two-sport athlete, playing football for 9 and basketball for 11 years. Mr. Tim Freeze is his special educator. Gage chose Mr. Freeze because he views him as a mentor throughout his time at the school. Gage says that Mr. Freeze is someone he could always go to for help or advice, no matter the problem, and will always continue to be a role model in life. The next inductee is Ashton Myers. Ashton has been a volleyball player since 2nd grade. She is also a student athletic trainer for the football and basketball teams. Ashton is enrolled in the Exercise Science Tech Prep program in order to prepare her for nursing school after high school. Miss Brandy Henry is her special educator. Ashton chose Miss Henry because she has always understood Ashton and was helpful whenever Ashton struggled in school. She has always been someone who provides Ashton comfort and visits her every day. Our next inductee is Anna Newker. Anna is a 2-time state swimmer for the high school and has spent her 4 years of junior coaching. In her free time, Anna volunteers at Target Dayton and has chosen Miss Maureen Tienda as her special educator. Mrs. Tienda has always had a positive attitude in the classroom and encourages students to reach their full potential. Anna especially appreciates the care Mrs. Tienda has, as she personally checks in on each of her students.
Our next inductee is Ava Newkirk. Ava has played on the girls' tennis team for 3 years, while also joining the varsity cross-country team this fall. During her free time, she also likes to volunteer at Target Dayton. Ava's special educator is Mr. Jeremy Wysocki. Ava chose Mr. Wysocki because he helped her achieve her goals in cross-country this season and welcomed her into her first year of running. Ava also says that Mr. Wysocki is very supportive to each runner and always does his best to help them reach their goals. Our next inductee is Cassi Noah. Cassi has participated in competition dance for the past 12 years and is also a member of the varsity cheer team. Cassi also spends her time with the Best Buddies program here at the high school. Cassie's special educator is Mrs. Jen Peterman. Mrs. Peterman helped to map out Cassie's future and shaped her to be the person she is today. Cassi says that Mrs. Peterman continues to be an inspiration to her throughout her time at the high school. Our next inductee is Naomi Akabor. Naomi has run track for 7 years, the past 2 of which were for the varsity track team at the high school. Naomi also teaches both children's Sunday school and dance at her church. Naomi's special educator is Mr. Melvin Johnson. Mr. Johnson has been a helpful mentor for Naomi since the 7th grade as a track coach. Naomi said that Mr. Johnson always helps her to navigate through important decisions, while also encouraging her to improve the things she is passionate about at school. Our next inductee is Nithya Partry. Nithya has been a girls' tennis player since her freshman year. Nithya also serves as an officer for the student government and Interact Club at the high school. Nithya's special educator is Mrs. Sarah Thomashaw. Mrs. Sarah Thomashaw has always helped and supported Nithya to solve problems and make decisions. Nithya said that since the first time she met Mrs. Thomashaw, she has constantly had Nithya's back and was a friend Nithya could go to for advice. Our next inductee is Tyler Pennington. Tyler has played football for the last 8 years and serves as a Viking mentor to the freshmen on the football team. Tyler has also swam for the Miamisburg swim team for the past 13 years. Tyler's special educator is Mr. Thomas Madigan. Mr. Madigan helped Tyler to gain a better understanding of math, while also making both school and math fun for Tyler and other students. Tyler said that Mr. Madigan also helped him to establish good note-taking skills, which prepared him for high school and the future.
Our next inductee is Kiefer Riley Johnson. Kiefer regularly volunteers for Miamisburg athletic concession stands, as well as the Helping Hands for the holidays. He is also a member of Miamisburg's academic team. His special educator is Mr. Sean Ridley. He chose Mr. Ridley as he was his academic team coach. Kiefer says that he appreciates Mr. Ridley's coaching in the academic team, which he says is his favorite extracurricular activity that he does in the high school. Our next inductee is Wyatt Rose. Wyatt is a member of the MHS swim, golf, and track teams. He is an active member of Miamisburg Drug Life as well. He works as a caddy at the Moraine Country Club. Wyatt's special educator is Mr. Sean McMurray. Mr. McMurray was one of Wyatt's middle school track coaches. Wyatt said, "He has mentored me throughout middle school, helping me become a better creative force and person. He pushed me to be the best I can be and motivated me to keep going when things get hard." Our next inductee is Ella Sands. Ella has been a member of the Miamisburg track and field team for 3 years, as well as a member of theater at Miamisburg for the past 3 years. She is in her first year as a member of MHS's Hope Squad. Ella chose Mrs. Lauren Lakowski as her special educator. Ella says that Mrs. Lakowski has taught her so much in the last few years. She has taught her in class, but also has been an amazing theater director who is passionate and caring. She would like to thank Mrs. Lakowski for bringing her closer to her passion. Our next inductee is Haley Seifer. Haley has been the president of Miamisburg's Junior Statesman of America for the past 2 years. She has also been a member of the Hope Squad for 2 years. She loves to volunteer at Jane Chance Elementary. She selected Miss Lori Curry as her special educator. Haley says, "Miss Curry is a wonderful teacher who is kind and patient. She takes the time to understand her students. She has helped me understand my weird habits and understand myself. I appreciate all she has done for me." Our next inductee is Robbie Scholl. Robbie is a member of the Order of the Arrow, the Miamisburg Hope Squad, and is also certified and licensed in scuba diving. Robbie selected Miss Jeannie Toadvine as his special educator. Robbie chose Mrs. Toadvine because she has expressed her caring personality past the expectations of a middle school teacher. Robbie said she was an encouragement to him throughout his 8th grade year, and her vibrant, enjoyable personality can make a bad day so much better. She forms personal relationships with all of her students and helps make them feel welcome and involved. Mrs. Toadvine will be a teacher that Robbie will remember for the rest of his life.
Our next inductee is Quincy Simpson. Quincy is a senior class senator on student government. She ran cross country for 2 years and has been an active participant in Young Life for 3 years. Quincy selected Mrs. Andrea Saylor as her special educator because she has been both an impactful teacher and a leader to her. Quincy said, "She was able to make a difficult class fun for me, and she continued to inspire me throughout my high school career." Our next inductee is Aiden Sizemore. Aiden has been involved in student government for 9 years and is the junior class lieutenant governor. He has swam for 9 years and is on the MHS swim team. He also was a Viking kickoff mentor. His special educator is Miss Nicole Casto. Aiden says, "Miss Casto has been my coach across multiple teams for many years. Her guidance has influenced much of my success in swimming. Nicole has been not only a coach, but like another parent to me, and I have had a great appreciation for everything she has done." Our next inductee is Ben Tran. Ben has run both cross country and track for 5 years and has done martial arts for 6 years. Ben has selected Mr. Jeremy Wysocki as his special educator because he has been his cross country and track coach for 3 years. Ben says, "Mr. Wysocki has been a very positive influence in my life. Mr. Wysocki has always pushed Ben, and he recognizes him as a great teacher." Our next inductee is Ariana Vasquez. Ariana is a junior class senator and an Interact Club officer. She is also a mentor at Motherview Elementary. Ariana selected Mr. Terry Johnson as her special educator because he is always motivating her to do the best in and outside of the classroom. She always feels welcome as soon as she walks into his classroom. Ariana says that ultimately he makes her education his priority, which she truly appreciates. Our final inductee is William Zanatelli. Will has played soccer for 10 years and has been a captain for many of those soccer teams. He is also a member of the exercise science program. William selected Mr. Jared Levin as his special educator because he has been teaching him every year in high school and has always pushed him to work harder in school. Mr. Levin is the reason Will has been able to raise his GPA and the reason he has done better than he ever thought he could. Will says, "Thank you, Mr. Levin."
You have heard the ideals, fundamental principles, and precepts on which the National Honor Society was founded. If you believe them, if you believe in these ideals and are willing to uphold them, please stand, raise your right hand, and repeat after me. I pledge myself to uphold the high ideals of the National Honor Society, to which I have been selected, striving in every way, by word and deed, to make its ideals, the ideals of my school and of my life. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to present to you the new members of the Miamisburg High School chapter of the National Honor Society. We would like to thank everyone for coming tonight and invite everyone to join us for refreshments, which are on the table to your right. Thank you.